It was interesting. You were talking about how you saw Neville go on a date. He really enjoyed it. And you became jealous, or maybe not jealous is the right word.
How'd you hear that?
We do our research here.
Okay.
And
no, I thought that was like a private text message to him. Did he tell you about that?
no, he didn't tell me about
okay.
it. You talked about that on a previous podcast. And it was interesting because that's indicative almost of where your values lie. Where you see jealousy in others is often where you are interested in and where what you want really at your deepest level.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the things about my whole journey is that, and I think where people not somehow, I get why people like me, and I think I aim to be fun, is that I think I'm accessible, and I keep it real in that, like, I don't know it all. And I think there's a lot of impression that Joe Rogan knows it all and Tim Ferriss knows it all. And these people, and there's nothing wrong with them. I enjoy them. I think they do really great work. I think I'm just still figuring it out. And I think that's kind of how I approach it. I think with the Neville and the jealousy thing, yeah, I even told him. I think it's really interesting to like tell the people when you're jealous of them and then have that kind of conversation, like go to that next level of relationship. Or like this popular guy on YouTube who's in business, he was like, he called me up and we started talking. He talks about money. And I was like, bro, why do you talk about money right away? It's kind of really awkward to say that back to him. And then it led to a good conversation about like, he felt he needed to show me status. And I was like, I don't really flex on it. Like I'll flex once in a while, but I'll tell you, I'm like I'm flexing here. Like, this is a flex. But yeah, jealousy. I'm definitely jealous of healthy couples right now. Like, yeah, like that's something I feel like my work in these other areas of my life are very dialed into how I like them to be. And so I'm like, I think the relationship part is where I want to put more effort, or not effort, but it's been definitely top of my mind.
Do you have any specific people you look to in your board of advisors for relationships in general? And what do they do differently?
Yeah. I call it the Council of Wise Men. I think that sounds cooler.
Excuse me.
Yeah, no, it's also good. I'm reading this book now, which is so fucking good. It's called When Things Fall Apart. Have you read this one?
I've heard of it.
It's just been really interesting. So I get anxiety when I'm home alone. I just don't want to be home alone. I get anxiety when I'm not like doing stuff. Like that's probably why I have a YouTube channel. And I've started these companies. Like I like making shit happen. And so, sorry, I lost my train of thought with this.
Your Council of Wise Men.
And so in terms of like the book and these different things, it's kind of reflecting on like, maybe I can just be okay with being okay. Mm-hmm. And so my friend came over and worked out, and I really enjoyed what he said. He's like, can you just build trust in yourself that it'll all work out? And I was like, that's fucking cool. Just like trust more in yourself that it will work out. Because it does. Like, and I think what I notice in my life experience is that I create a lot of tension and conflict and uncertainty. And if I could just be okay with that for a little bit longer, it'll actually be okay. Like how many things in life we're afraid of? Like I was going on a date a week ago, and I was like, I don't want to go on a date. I don't want to talk to this person. What if she's not interesting? Like, do I have to entertain her? Do I have to like get out my clothes? You know? And then I got there. It was fucking great. She was cool. It was fine. But like the uncertainty and so I just think experiencing that in general, with the dating part specifically, it's like my brother said, he's like, for all of us, we're already complete. Like you don't need to be fixed, and no one's going to make your life. They'll make your life better, but you're already good the way you are. And so I think that's a powerful message. So in terms of the council specifically, there's basically, I would say like Adam Gilbert from mybodytutor.com. He's out in New York. You should chat with this guy. He's very happy being consistent. He's very happy. Like he lives the same life every day, and he loves it. Like he eats the same breakfast. He has the same breakfast: egg whites, blueberries, and a protein shake every day. Dinner, chicken and broccoli. And he works out and does the thing, and he loves that. And so, I think it's interesting to have role models in different areas. So I think for relationships, I'm always curious. I'm like, lately I'm meeting some people. I'm like, do you have a dad? And they're like, nah, I didn't really grow up with a dad. And I'm like, oh, I can tell. And so it's like, well, you need to find a way to fill that role for you as an individual, or in couples. Like, can you find couples that are doing that? So I go to Adam pretty often about this stuff. And the main thing he always says is take your power back. That's the main thing he always fucking says to me.
Why?
Well, it's interesting because I noticed it at appsumo.com, and why he says it to me is because like recently I've been feeling sad about my ex. I had a fiance, I broke up, and I was feeling real sad about it. I was like, damn, dude. And I was like just on different shit, and like I was on some like hormone stuff to get my testosterone up, and it actually really fucked with my mental state. And so I'm waiting for my like ex to show up at my door. I'm like literally up at night, and I'm like having nightmares. And I'm like, I really just hope she shows up. And I was like, dude, and this is how you know you have a good friend, because they talk shit. Like if you want a best friend is the actual honest ones. They're the ones that like, they won't ride you for it forever, but it's like, if your girl's not good, if you're not being your best, like that is a best. They're keeping you at your best, or pushing you to your best. And so Adam's like, I know you're waiting around for her, and I get things are going on in your mind, and it's not that they're not wrong, but like you're giving up all your power to her in this situation. Like, what can you do about it? If you want her right now, go call her and go to her house. And so I think he really encourages me that in all these different situations. He's like, with dating, he's like, dude, you're the man, bro. And I think I have my own like self-worth issues that I'm exploring and trying to work through, like all humans. And so with Adam, it's like, well, what are you doing about it? Like, how are you taking, like in work, how are you taking your power back? Are you blaming this other person, or are you going to go fix it yourself? In this relationship stuff, are you blaming that this person didn't show up at the door, or are you going to go call her and do something about it? And I think that honestly applies in everything. Like, you're complaining about somebody at your company. Okay, fire them or coach them to get it better. But don't just complain and sit on the sidelines.
Yeah, that's really powerful. And it's interesting to me how you spend so much of your time on the business side. It's what you're naturally drawn to. And then life has a way of being like, well, what about this other part of your life? And now you're spending maniacal focus on the relationship side. I actually heard one of your friends say, if you spent as much time on finding a wife as you do your business, you'd have a wife in a week.
That's true. It's interesting. Yeah, there's probably some truth to that. I think with dating for me, I was never very intentional, and there's no knock on any of the women I've dated. I feel nice. I think there's like a self-worth thing about like, I deserve. So like even this house, like you're in this, it's like a multi-million-dollar house. It's sick.
Incredible.
But it's really nice. I never thought I deserved a nice house. And that was something I just had to work through. Like my own fucking things. We all got our own things. And I think there's a parallel to that in relationships, which is like deserving to be with someone great. And I think now it's not about maniacal focus, because like, I feel like business is very controllable. Yeah. And it's very hard to control other people.
Yeah.
I just think it's about intentionality, which is now, how am I being intentional that I'm meeting people and like being clear on what I need in a partner and what I deserve and what they deserve, and then finding people that actually fit that. And I think the two things that I'm observing in dating and meeting partners is one, is it organic? Right? Like, I think that's something I've noticed in life. Like, what are we organically doing? Like, what are we doing for free? What are we doing in our spare time? How are we meeting people that it just feels more natural versus forced? And I think the other thing is just try to take it fucking easier. I think there's like a little bit of this, like this whole house experience was, I've thought about this a lot, where like I lived in a really shitty house that had like walls falling down and cracks and all this stuff. And I was like, I really want a nice house, but I didn't even know what a nice house was, and I didn't feel comfortable spending the money. But then when COVID hit, I went to like this Malibu beach house, which was sick. It was sick. It was like the coolest thing ever. And then I got a nice house, and I was like, wow, this is cool. And so I think sometimes in life, like I went on a date recently, and I don't know if your show is supposed to be about marketing or business, but we're talking real stuff. I went on a date recently, and I was like, oh my God, this is the bar. This is the bar of what quality looks like. And it was just nice to know what exists. And so I think in general, for all aspects of our life, it doesn't just have to be material, but like try these different things out and see what levels you can actually obtain, or what kind of vision you can really create. Like working at Facebook, I could see a guy who had a vision that was literally, I'm going to do something that's global. He's not like, yeah, I want to do like a little thing, which is fine. There's not like a one is right or wrong. It was just cool to see that's there too. Like there's this level of talent. There's this level of vision. Meeting women. Like, wow, there's a woman that's like an entrepreneur and can be a mother and can be like, I'm Jewish and these different things. And nice to know,